Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Daniel Jacobs said he would slaughter Canelo Alvarez at 168. Stay tuned. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also, subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Big up to the new channel members. Now, Daniel Jacobs was in attendance at Canelo versus Fielding. He watched the fight. He's a Brooklyn, New York native, and I seen on Behind the Gloves. He did an interview post-fight, and he gave his thoughts about Canelo. This is what he had to say. He says that they're basically talking about, is Canelo too small to compete at super middleweight? And he says, I think Canelo, his physique, his size, that really plays a factor into, his career at super middleweight. A guy like David Benavidez, I could never see Canelo beating a guy like that. Size matters. He also says that Canelo, he's a strong fighter, but I think he's really limited against a fighter like me with the stature of me. The most realistic thing for me is the biggest fight, so we're gonna go for the big fights. We're in a strong position. We're in a good position to get those key fights. Canelo, he did good tonight. He did very well. I have multiple options. I have different options that I'm involving myself with. There's big fights. I still have Triple G. You have Jamal Charlo. I have Rob Brandt. He says he would fight Canelo at the higher weight. He said, of course I would, but it would also probably be worse for him because I'd probably be much stronger at that weight and probably faster. He said, to me, that's a slaughter, end quote. Now, I know Canelo has a lot of fans. I'm actually a fan of Canelo, his fighting style. And there's a lot of people who are going to not know shit about boxing, but they watch boxing one time a year and then just discount because it's something you don't want to say. Now, I do agree with what Jacobs is saying. I'm not saying he's going to slaughter him. That's his opinion. But at 168, I think that's a tougher fight for Canelo. Jacobs is a tougher fight at 168 than at 160. 160 is still a good fight, but at 168, I just don't see Canelo really, like he's saying, have the stature and whatnot. And Jacobs, a lot of people complain. It's funny how people like play size and say certain things, and then when it doesn't suit them, then they forget what they said. A lot of people were complaining when Jacobs fought against Gennady Golovkin. And they were saying, oh yeah, the only reason he survived is he was a cruiserweight and he weighed 195 pounds because Jacobs didn't choose to fight for the IBF. So he didn't have to do the same day weigh-in and be limited to the rehydration clause. So now, because he's saying something about Canelo, these same motherfuckers will act like they don't know that Jacobs has the size advantage over Canelo, especially at 168, but some of these same people were protesting almost because Jacobs chose not to fight for the IBF title and, a strategic move, sleep in, come in comfortable, and not be limited by that, and not having that belt eligible. And then they were complaining that he was bigger than Triple G, and Triple G's bigger than Canelo. So, what Jacobs is saying is true. He would be bigger. I mean, you look at him in his recent fights. He looks, when he rehydrates, he looks big. He looks healthy. He looks in shape. He looks, durable. So at 168, Canelo has one fight against very low opposition. I do give Canelo credit for the simple fact that he's the size he is and he's flexing his weight and just the manner in which he beat him. Because again, if, no disrespect to anybody, but if Gabe Rosado or Luis Cuba Arias or something moved up to 168, even if they beat Rocky Fielding, would they beat him by knocking him down four times in 3 rounds? So that's becomes more of a stylistic thing. And then your power and then how you place your punches and stuff like that. So I still give him credit because, Toriano Johnson or somebody, if he moved from 160 and moved up to 68, with the same parameters as Canelo, who knows if he would have been able to just stop Rocky Fielding and make it look effortless. So that goes to show you that Canelo still is a good fighter, but we all knew the outcome of that particular fight. But I hope Jacobs gets the fight. Canelo, he's not fighting Jacobs at 168. And see, that's the thing. Fans are going to say whatever, but they won't call his bluff. You know, Jacobs said what he said. He said, I'll slaughter him at 168. But you know, Canelo, just look at the history of his weight. He's the A side and he knows it. So, you know, weight, tactical things have been done. If he fought Rocky Fielding at 168, but then limited him with the same day rehydration clause, what makes you think he would even think about fighting a guy who's better like Daniel Jacobs, more accomplished like Daniel Jacobs? So you know it's not going to even happen. So once again, new media, this is what happens. We have fans who will act like Danny Jacobs is bullshitting or lying, but you know that Golden Boy and Canelo, based on their past history with catch weights and different things like that and strategic edges, you know they wouldn't fight Jacobs at 168. If I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong. You know, if Canelo thinks he's a super middleweight, then fight Jacobs at super middleweight. He's basically telling you he would do it. So it's a good fight even at 160, but 168, you know, that's more Jacobs' size than Canelo, despite how well he looked versus Fielding. Again, that's a guy who named Fielding's best win. I can name you Jacobs' best performances. I can't name you any of Rocky Fielding's best wins. You get what I'm saying? So it's a big difference. But, you know, maybe the fight happens at 160. I would still accept that. That's the weight class that Jacobs is a champion. So still a good fight. But at 168, it would be harder for Canelo. I do agree with that. It remains to be seen if he would get slaughtered. But I think the fight's definitely harder because now Jacobs, who knows if he can make 168, you know, who knows what he would rehydrate to. And then Canelo would have to deal with that as long as the fight lasted, you know. So let me know what you guys think. Drop your thoughts. Hopefully Canelo, with his newfound DAZN deal, he's getting a lot of money. Hopefully he does unify with a guy like Jacobs, even at 160 or 168. Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego, signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.